Hello everyone, this is another LEGO City 5 Plus set for 2021. It's the Police Patrol Boat, and it's a good one. In addition to the big boat, the set comes with 5 minifigures, 2 small submersibles, and a shark. The boat is built upon a unitary hull, which means it's basically one piece. It's technically 2 parts, given that the gray and blue are actually 2 separate pieces of plastic, 2 different types of plastic at that, but they come pre-assembled and there's no assembly really required to create an entire floating thing. That's the great thing about these unitary hulls, they actually do float. You can drop this entire thing in a bathtub, big sink, pool, whatever you want, and it'll float. It's actually designed to not capsize, it has enough width, and there's not too much weight up top, so that actually works and is absolutely wonderful for play. Some people worry about stickers. This is a sticker right here. Not doing well in water. I believe that is an unfortunate side effect of the fact that LEGO did a number of unitary hull-based boats during a time when they were making particularly terrible stickers that just would not last. They would crumble over time. I think that generally stickers should do just fine. They're made of plastic and they're not porous or anything, but we'll move past that. As a 5 Plus build, it's pretty simple. This goes together pretty quickly, but it actually is set up for successful play with many different scenarios. There are a lot of things you can do here. There's plenty of open deck space, which is important. You can't just fill everything up with details. You have to be able to put your minifigures on there. So there's plenty of space for that. This is a net shooter here in the front. I don't find these to be particularly useful, but I mean, it's a thing. It does a thing, shoots out a net. And if you don't like it, you can easily replace that, or just imagine that it is a searchlight or something. Up on top, I'm going to try to go basically from the top and then move down a bit. This is a deployable drone. It's a tricopter that you can send out, and it has a little suggestion of a camera on the underside. Maybe set up for infrared or something. I don't know why they did it in red, just to look a little bit different. But yeah, nice, simple thing, but definitely goes with the times. Makes sense for this application. Take that off, and then you have a spot where you could put something else. You can also lift this up to get a little bit of access to this rear section. Now that is, I mean, it's an open space. You can use it as like a temporary holding cell or something, but it is a little bit difficult, especially for an adult, to get fingers in there. So success of setting a figure actually standing up is maybe going to be a little bit limited. So it's usable space, but not in the best possible way. This is good here. Just a little driving position with a recent style of console print there. And you got some, well, you can spin this up, but this is all just indicator lights and radar and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, these things make sense, right? All these small details that are here make sense. So you can call out to criminals or into the dock. You've got a couple spots, well, several spots for minifig accessories with the flashlight there, and a walkie-talkie radio unit over there. Got a couple pairs of handcuffs. We'll get into what this is all about in a few minutes, but these make sense. And when this is actually in the water, it's going to be submerged a bit. So you can imagine, divers leaving there, coming back on. A couple of life preserver rings. This also pops off here, this upper deck, which gives you much better access to this area than the area directly to its rear. So that's unfortunately the exact same print that we saw up top. I wish they used a different one there just to have, more variety, but it's okay. Also, this has no seat down here, but you can stand figures down here, or you can set them down, kind of your choice. But there's an alternate position here, which is set up as a potential driving position as well. And that one does use a different print, so I'm glad to see that. But overall, again, pretty simple, but plenty of spaces to put your minifigures, to use your minifigures, and it floats. We're off to a very good start here. Now, let's get into what this is about. It's a basic rotating mechanism that has a couple of old Borak eyes in just plain white there that act as a kind of a cam to cause something to move out. And what you do is you put this little submersible unit, there we go, like so, and then this will kick it off. It'll launch it off into the water. Okay, a very, very simple little thing. Doesn't really do much, given that you could always just, pick this up and then just put it in the water. This will not float though. So this is intended to be a personal diver propulsion vehicle, kind of like an underwater scooter. Another simple thing, but good enough for what it is. That is actually a print there, not a sticker this time. But yeah, a person just holds on to the handlebars for dear life, and the little water jets on the sides do their thing. I don't remember when they switched to this, or if this is a brand new design for this particular piece, these little small engine pieces, but I did recognize that slot has not always been there. But let's move on. The bad guys, or the criminals, also get a small submersible vehicle, but this one's fully enclosed, so you can imagine that it gets filled up with air inside of there. This one you can put into the water and it won't immediately sink, but it will eventually fill up with water and start to sink. You know, it's not really designed to last particularly long, to float particularly long, but it will do it a little bit. I wish that we had the option to decide when it submerges, but you know, it is what it is. Some people are like, JANG, it's supposed to be a submersible. Why would you want it to float? Because submarines float. That's how people get into them, generally get in and get out. This is intended to represent a pair of joysticks at the front for control, and you just put a single person in there and they potentially have a little bit of cargo behind them. And that is that. This thing is small, not too many pieces here, and I like it. I think it absolutely does its job 100%, does everything that it needs to do. Spin up the little impeller on the back, and it's got a couple of spots on the side to hold on to minifig accessories if they will fit there, or it can hold on to a chain, which in turn can be used to pull along what they usually, Lego City criminals, are usually dragging down the street. A safe. And this is a simple build for a safe, but it looks pretty nice. Much better to actually build some stuff up rather than just sticking a sticker on the door. And for your heist this time, you get gold. Okay, that's better than just cash. Not as good as diamonds, but yeah, gold works. There are 4 molded gold ingots in there. That's the pearl gold. Here's the shark, who's kind of a neutral party in all of this. It's just the basic shark with the modern eye print. And the jaw opens, the upper jaw opens and closes. That's just that. Got some spots to attach things from the underside if you want. And these do also float a little bit for a little while. And then eventually, in most cases, in my experience, they will eventually sink. The reason that I keep calling out what will float or what will sink is that the main thing you're paying for in this set will float. So I think it's important is to mention, you know, the fact that most of the other stuff just will sink. Sink or float probably doesn't matter all that much if you're playing in a big sink or a bathtub, but take it out into an actual pool and it can matter a lot. So here on the criminal side, we have Hacksaw Hank on the left from the Lego City Adventures series, as everything from City, well, most things from City are these days, or at least are tied in. And on the right is Frank Lupelli. Very nice designs for both of these. The print for the torso for Hacksaw Hank is not that great. You know, the white needs to be more opaque as always, but otherwise, like the designs themselves, I think are pretty nice. And Frank on the right is using a lot of the dark pearl gray, which is I think the official name for gunmetal gray. Really good print for his face there. Good alternate print, good alternate faces, that is, for both of them, I think, and a really good back torso print for the one on the right. Not bad on the left, but again, a little lacking in white. On the police side, this is one of the rare Lego City police sets these days that does not feature Duke Detain. Thank goodness. I like to see some diversity. Don't care who else they bring in, just bring in somebody else. So on the left is Gracie Goodhart. That looks like a British police vest to me with the high visibility stripe in the checkers. Nice to see a little something different in the design there. I don't remember if these two have names in the show. I don't remember what they are. I like that print quite a bit. I'll show you the rest of the face there. It's a relatively generic one. And they also brought us in the light yellow or cool yellow colored flippers here. Need to take some stuff off. Only Gracie gets an alternate face print this time around. It's a pretty decent one. Could have used an extra one here, but you know, it is what it is. That back torso print is fine, but not great. And here's anything that was covered up before. So again, really nice torso print right here. Lastly, here are the spare parts. So not too many things and nothing too fancy beyond the black lightsaber blade and I guess this little dark tan piece. And there were only 3 stickers in total. I bought this for the retail price of $60 US, 60. And with under 300 pieces, well, you look at the price to part ratio, that does not look good. And if you're one of these folks who looks at price to part ratio only and nothing else, as if price to part ratio is the end all be all when it comes to value considerations, and not only value, but whether a set is good or not, well, you just don't get it, do you, Scott? That said, $60 for this? No way. No way. It's not a good price at all. It's a very, very bad price. It's too much. Or as a guru from Gangstar would say, it's much too much. I would give this $40 for this whole set. And if they charged $45, I would be okay with it. At $50, I would already be sounding the alarm a little bit, saying, I want to see this go on sale. So 60 is way out of the range, 50% too high. This needs to go on sale. Fortunately, the price, relatively speaking, seems to be a little bit better in some other regions. So that's nice to see, for some folks. But if you see this for $60 US and you want it, but you're not sure if it's worth it, I'm telling you right now, it's not. At least in my personal opinion, okay? Take that with a grain of salt. Judge for yourself. But I do not think that this is worth $60. I think this is a really good set, especially as a 5+ set. This gives me a lot of positive nostalgia for stuff from what I consider to be Lego's golden age, the good old days of Legoland, blah, blah, blah. Talked about that way too much. It just feels good to me, makes me happy. Went together quickly. It felt like I got quick success, and I can just imagine multiplying that factor for younger kids who have less patience than I do. It's really important to get success quickly, to put stuff together but not have to spend too much time doing it. Some kids are naturally extra patient, and some are raised to be super patient. That's great. Many aren't, which is okay. They're kids, right? So Lego tries to make things simpler for their younger audiences. I think they've done a very successful job here. There are very few things that I'm not happy with here. The little bit of print there. Net shooter doesn't work all that well. Limited access for adult fingers in particular to this area here, although it's not going to be great for smaller, younger fingers as well. But still, for what it's intended to do as a holding cell, it's going to be fine. Kids are going to put the handcuffs on that guy right there, and then they're going to open this, and they're just going to dump him in there. It doesn't even need excuse me, tripping over my own tongue. Doesn't even need to be sat down, doesn't need to be stood, doesn't need to be attached to anything. So overall, I'm very happy with almost all of this, except for the price. The price is pretty terrible, if you ask me. You can check out the build. It's a pretty quick one. It's like a half an hour for the real-time thing, or if you look at the speed build version, the time-lapse version of that, then it's really, really quick. You want to see what did go into putting this together. Thank you for watching. I'm going to keep bringing you more reviews, and I'll talk to you again soon.